What's that? Hasbro did a bunch of reveals? Well then I guess it's time for me to rain on their parade. It's been a long time since I did the last one of these, it feels like. I'll probably forget something or more than a few somethings because I'm stupid. But anything that I do wind up remembering, I have to thank Met, SharkZ, and Goober on Discord for remembering, as well as Ryan on Twitter. All four of them have been trying to keep me up to date on announced or leaked figures, so huge thanks to them. And before we get started, normally I don't like to bother you with this stuff, but I should point out that my new slightly reduced 2 videos a week upload schedule is impacting my growth. So if you could, like the videos as they come out and subscribe if you haven't already. That'd be hugely helpful. It's only with your assistance that I can make this channel into something that supports itself. Speaking of, while I'm at it, I have a Patreon. Any amount donated a month gets you access to the patrons-only Discord server, where I have voice chat hangouts with my patrons once a week on Fridays. Sorry to bother you with all that crap, let's look at the stuff now. And let's start out with the reveals that were semi-revealed, kind of, maybe. Most of this stuff we already knew through leaks, but they announced that there will be a Legacy Beachcomber. His Power of the Primes Legends figure was already pretty good, so let's hope that this finds a way to be an upgrade. Then there's DevCon, who sadly is not like the ugly character from the movies that people actually care about for some reason, but instead a character from G1, who is both also hideous and no one cares about. I hate his fucking feet. They are disgusting. They look like they've been degloved. Don't look that up if you don't know what that is. $20 says that this is going to be an 86 Scourge retool. So they announced a Dirge, which is kind of exciting. Why would I say that it's exciting? Well, because there was already the Earthrise version of this, which sucked, but they didn't have pictures of the new version, meaning it might be a new mold. It also might be the Kingdom Legend scale one with a new head, but hey, that would still mean it's better than the Earthrise Voyager. Nemesis Leo Prime. I don't know that this is so much an announcement as it is Hasbro just doing the thing Hasbros are wont to do and paint anything they have the excuse to into a Nemesis Prime. Armada Megatron. We knew this was coming from the leaks. Great to see it confirmed. I am excited to see one of the wackiest character designs in all the Transformers finally come back. But maybe I've spoken too soon, because this next reveal is a bunch of words, so the relative wackiness with this is unparalleled. I don't know how they're gonna make all that transform, but I'm interested to say the least. That's it for the reveals that were Hasbro just trying to get out in front of the leaked listings. Now let's talk about the things that we have actual pictures of. And the first thing I want to talk about is this Rhinox. It's a toy meant for babies, and yet it looks exactly like a space jockey from Prometheus, which is a movie I honestly don't understand the hate for. Everyone's problems with it seem to boil down to them being butthurt that it wasn't a direct Alien prequel. Oh no, it's not a prequel to a really bad horror movie where all the characters get themselves killed because they're morons. Like Lady, who stands there and lets herself get ripped apart because running either to the left or right with tons of space to do it would just be too hard. Or Man, who dies because he's not willing to step left or right with tons of space to get Lady out of his line of fire. So instead, he tackles a monster that may as well be made of machetes. Or Dumbass, who let the monster out of a sealed system because he really just wanted to go in there and kill it himself, but instead panicked and died. And lastly, Dude, who tries to murder someone with a magazine, even though that person could just, turn their head to the side and not with any of all that BS. That was only in there because it was someone's weird fetish, I swear. I am PerspectiveEnd, master of the hot take. Fear me! Then you got the Rise of the Beasts RC, who just looks like an evil clown. Why is she so scary? Also, boy, this toy looks like crap. RC just can't catch a break, can she? Some Hasbro executive is like, we're gonna give her a lot of toys, but they're all gonna be phoned in. Seriously, they couldn't give her a deluxe, it's a Legends figure. Then there's Rewind and Billy. And if you don't get that reference, then congratulations. Your brain hasn't been rotted by one of the worst dubs in all human history. I have 2 things to say about this. 1, they gave it a slightly new facial expression, and that's much appreciated. And 2, they stole my idea for using the gun as a radio antenna, the bastards! Then there's Crash Bar, and yes, 100 times yes. More of this, please. More Junkion weaponizers. I have been asking for this since 86 Rekgar got leaked, and it feels so good to be so right. I don't know if this guy will be able to transform without parts forming like the other one can, which would be super cool if he could, but either way, I'm stoked for this. My boy looks like he glued Tide Pods to his stomach to fake abs, and I can't tell if his hip joints are supposed to look like they're made out of compacted trash, or if this is just a problem with this picture, but I'm here for it if it is. Alt mode looks great, though I hope I can tilt the toe down. I've not bought multiples of really any of the weaponizers, but I am totally down to get an army of Junkions. Then there's Crosscut. Look, I was impressed with the original Skids figure, despite mine's quality control. But at this point, I've just had enough of it. It was a decent figure, but not one that needed the Seeker treatment. Then you got the new Legends Grimlock figure, and I'll be honest, at first I absolutely hated everything about it. But it's kind of rapidly grown on me. Is it awful? Oh god, is it ever. But it's endearing with its wonky proportions, gaps everywhere, back kibble, blatantly awful posability, tiny torso and head, truly heinous gun, and Hulk hands. It's like the pug of robot modes. It's so ugly, it's adorable. Dino mode doesn't look too bad except for the tail, which is on backwards. But that leg mode, what a pile of shit. The figure looks unfinished in robot mode, but in combined mode, it looks unstarted. Why are the robot legs too big in every mode? They're ridiculous on the robot mode, jut around the alt mode, and shroud the combined mode, which would already be the dumbest looking thing on the planet, just a head sitting on top of 2 legs. Literally, they could make him smaller from the knee down and only improve the figure. Though, even if they did, nothing is saving that combined mode. Keeping on the Legends train, Thundercracker. No surprise here, this was obviously coming. Though the question is, with how stupid this trio has been so far, do you think he's coming with only 1 null ray? I mean, Starscream had 2, Skywarp had none, and we only see 1 here. It wouldn't surprise me at this point. Let's knock out all the Legends right now. Kingdom Legends Nemesis Prime. Only 2 things really of note here. 1, he gets an axe instead of a gun, because, of course, and 2, his trailer in the artwork is backwards. Not a real problem, it's just funny. Speaking of boxes, we gotta look at Skyquakes. 1, cool box. 2, wait, he gets a sword? Why have we only seen him with a minigun up until now? Then there's Shrapnel, and I don't know, something about this one seems wrong. The proportions are off. His torso is way too short, and I can't tell if that's because his legs are too long or what. He is definitely too wide, and that makes the alt mode look too stocky as well. Seriously, if you just stretch the torso a tiny amount, this looks so much better. I don't understand how an easy fixable problem like this slipped past Hasbro. I still want this, but such a minor change would make this so much better. Then there's Prowl, and he better have arms that can bend more than that, I tell you what. But I do have to congratulate animated fans. Unlike Prime, this is far closer to the style of the show he's from. I don't know that it fits a modern Chug collection as well because of it, but it seems like a far more fair to the fans blending of the 2 aesthetics. Alt mode looks excellent. This is shaping up to be a figure that will make animated stands very happy. I, however, will always hate the unbearably long chin, and I kindly request that design aesthetic go away forever. The last thing in Evolution I'm going to talk about is Metal Hawk. Personally, I would have preferred the cool IDW version, and don't you dare try to tell me that I got that with the Titans Return one. Are you high? They look nothing alike. That's like looking at Rick Moranis and saying that he looks like Jake Gyllenhaal because they're both white men. No shade on Rick Moranis or TR Trigger Happy. They're both awesome. It looks pretty good in robot mode, and it's a Cyclonus retool, so being based on one of the best figures of 2 years ago, there's not a lot that can go wrong. Ah, I stand corrected. That looks like shit. Oh my god, this looks like a knockoff you buy on a South American street corner for $1 that 2 guys made in their garage. This is so ugly, it's causing me physical pain. Don't even try to lie to me that this is accurate to his alt mode. No, it's not. His alt mode was actually cool. Don't think I didn't notice the parts forming on the feet. It looks like a bath toy. This is going to be the butchering of a good figure, isn't it? The whole line looks great together, but like only half of this screen am I actually interested in. Now let's go over the Rise of the Beast stuff. First up, there's a mainline Cheetor, who looks recognizable as Cheetor, though once again, they replaced the gold with bronze for some reason. Also, is it just me, or does this Cheetor look like it's weirdly fat in the belly only, or like he's pregnant with an entire cheetah that's ripping its way out of him as we speak? But you know what? I can't be too irritated about that, because this does look pretty good. Colors are energetic and fun, figure looks like a good blend of the movie and show aesthetics. Honestly, I think this looks better for the most part than the actual Kingdom figure. But we all know that this isn't going to be what the character looks like. No, instead we're getting this pile of shit in the movie. Who, to be fair, looks more like Cheetor than most of the movie designs look like the characters they're supposed to be. And by that I mean this looks maybe 10% like Cheetor, because at least it's got somewhat the right colors, and the head has some vague allusions to the original character that are barely there. But otherwise, this is just a completely new design. And while it's not hideous like the Wheeljack, who we do have solid confirmation at this point that yes, he will look that terrible in the actual movie. We seriously need to get them to ugly Sonic up that loser. In fact, this is kind of cool taken in a vacuum, but it's not the character at all. And another $20 says that this won't act like the character in the movie either. Instead, it's just going to be another instance where the movies use the name of the characters we love as a way to deny us the ability to ever get the characters we came to the theater to see in the first place. Because don't you know that executive producer Michael Bay knows better than you that what you love is stupid and you should be grateful for not getting it? I want the movie to be good. I so desperately want the movie to be good, but at this point I expect that it won't be. To be fair, I thought the same thing of the Bumblebee movie before I saw it, and that turned out good, so Hasbro better hope that they didn't fuck this up because they are in dire financial straits, and they can't take a hit like this right now. At least it looks pretty big for a Voyager. Lastly, Scourge, who looks exactly like it looked like he was going to from the trailer. Overly long neck and all. And before I complain too much, let me just say that that is a sick alt mode. I do think there aren't enough faction badges on his grill. The whole thing should be plastered in them. But at the same time, it is a mean, evil-looking truck that looks like it belongs in Duel or Jeepers Creepers. This is a monster if it were a vehicle, which is awesome. And the dark orange windows look badass. I love this truck mode. I cannot say the same for the lanky, gangly robot mode with the goofy-ass hands, and the neck that looks like if you punch him in the face, it'll snap like a twig. However, I do get why you might not feel the same way as I do. I can see how you may like this, and you aren't wrong for disagreeing with me, ever. Honestly, this could be cleaned up, and it might actually start looking a bit cool to me. Not like the character it's supposed to be, but cool enough. His little Terracon buddy can be a thing on the truck. It all makes so much sense now. That figure does not look like it sucks and was meant to be a pack and accessory with Scourge that they broke off and sold on its own like the Bumblebee movie Ravage at all. Forgive my very Malden takes this time. I really wish I was more positive looking forward at this stuff. But hey, if I'm the only person trying to be a wet blanket in this community, I'm okay with being that. And hopefully I end up eating all my words when this stuff finally comes out. I was happy to have that happen with the first year of Legacy, which I thought looked like crap from the outside, but then turned out to be pretty good. And to be fair, I do think there's a lot of good-looking stuff in these reveals. Though the movie stuff really makes me worried about the future of official products. I want the movie to succeed, but only if it's good. And I just don't see this movie, trapped in production hell, being helmed by a novice director who's probably extremely beholden to the executive producers who've proven time and time again that they don't understand the franchise and they hate its fans, turning out to be anything like what the fans of Transformers and Beast Wars want at all. Honestly, maybe it's better that Gary Chalk didn't get asked to voice this Primal. At least if it's terrible, he won't be tainted by the stink. And that's not half what I have to say, but it's enough what I have to say. And I know, you know, what everyone else tells you to do at the end of these videos. So, if you liked what you saw here, please do that. And if you'd like to take it a step further, then please share this video with any friend you think may be interested. I hope you all enjoyed listening to me waste your time.